Let's go over how you can naturally increase your testosterone levels if you're a guy over 50. Maybe lately your energy hasn't been as good as it used to. Maybe your sex drive is not as strong. Maybe you feel like you're just losing muscle mass. So, increasing your testosterone can actually help with these issues. So, let's go over 6 specific things you can do to increase and maintain good testosterone levels. Now, guys, the first thing you want to do is get a good night's sleep. I know it's hard. I have a hard time with this. I wake up 5:30 every single day. I'm training clients in my gym. So I have to make sure I go to sleep at a reasonable hour to get a good night's sleep. Studies have shown that men who only sleep 5 hours a night have decreased testosterone levels by like 10, 15%. See, when you're sleeping at night and you're in that deep sleep, that rapid eye movement sleep, that's when testosterone levels are increased. So if you're constantly waking up or you're sleep deprived, only sleeping like 4, 5, 6 hours a night, your testosterone levels are going to be lower. Okay, so let's go over quickly a few things you can do to improve the quality of your sleep. See, one thing you can do is make sure you get enough daylight during the day when you wake up. And then you want to minimize the amount of light, especially blue light that you're getting in the evening. See, your body has its own internal clock. It's called your circadian rhythm. When you wake up in the morning, you're supposed to feel the sunlight hit your face. You're supposed to absorb the vitamin D from the sunlight in your eyes and your body. The more sunlight you get during the day, the better you will sleep at night. Then the inverse, in the evening, you want to eliminate that blue light. The blue light is the light you get from those LED light bulbs and TV screens and like looking at your phone. So what I have done, I did this years ago. I bought a pair of those blue light blocking glasses. They're kind of like tinted yellow and they block the blue light. It's definitely helped me sleep better. Plus, I try not to watch TV like right before I go to sleep. I try to stop watching TV a couple hours before I go to bed. I stop checking my phone, I don't go on the computer. Try to minimize the amount of blue light in the evening. Now, another thing you can do is blacken out your bedroom, and I mean no light. Buy the blackout curtains for your windows. Get rid of the LED screens like for your clock. Your room should really be dark at night. See, even a little bit of light is going to minimize the release of melatonin in your body. And melatonin is what helps you sleep. Some people even take a melatonin supplement, which I think is fine to try that. That's something else you can do that can possibly help you sleep. But definitely black out your bedroom. Another thing you can do is keep the bedroom cool. You don't want to wake up in the middle of the night because you're hot, you're sweating. I like to keep my bedroom really cool. I set my thermostat at like 65. In the winter, I like the air conditioning on. In the summertime, keep the bedroom cool. Another thing you should do is no caffeine after 2 in the afternoon. You'd be surprised. You have that late afternoon cup of coffee, it's going to disrupt your sleep. Something else I recommend is that if you're going to drink alcohol in the evening, see, I like to have a glass of wine now and then, but if I have a glass of wine, say right before I go to sleep, it's going to disrupt my sleep. It's going to make me wake up. So if you're going to have wine, do it early. You're going to have a drink, do it early in the evening. Maybe have like a cocktail right before dinner. Don't do it like after dinner, and definitely don't drink right before you go to sleep. And the last thing you can try is no late night eating or snacking. Once you're done with dinner, no more food. Try to go 2, even if possible, 3 hours of no food in your system before you go to sleep. I mean, you could have a cup of like caffeine-free herbal tea or something like that, but no food right before bed. Now, the second thing you want to do to increase your testosterone levels is maintain an optimal weight. Like, you don't want to be really overweight, and you also don't want to be underweight. You want to be at an optimal weight. That's what research has shown. And you also don't want to lose weight too rapidly. If you're going to crash diet and starve yourself, you're going to lower your testosterone levels. Plus, research has also shown that you want to eat an adequate amount of fat within your diet. I'm a big believer in the low carb, high fat, adequate amount of protein, whole natural food diet. I think that's the best diet for health, for longevity, and for maintaining optimal testosterone levels. I'll link up a video here if you want to learn more about my ideal diet. Now, a third thing you can do to increase T levels is you have to live an active lifestyle. Now, studies have shown that when you compare men who live a sedentary lifestyle to men who are lifting weights, who are doing aerobics, who are playing sports, the people who are active are going to have higher testosterone levels. So you have to keep moving. It's definitely going to help. Okay, guys, now the fourth thing you have to do is reduce stress. You know, I know it's hard reducing stress, especially when you got older with all the responsibilities you have, but research has shown that if you're chronically stressed out, the stress hormone within your body, cortisol, is going to be elevated. Now, if cortisol is constantly elevated, it's definitely going to lower your testosterone levels. It's also going to have other adverse effects on your body. If you have chronically high cortisol levels, you're going to also have an increase in the hormone insulin. You know, I make a lot of videos about insulin. You want to avoid insulin resistance. If you're sleep deprived and you're stressed out and your cortisol levels are really high, you're going to have low testosterone. You're going to possibly have insulin resistance. It's going to be harder for you to lose weight. So you have to do whatever you can to reduce stress. I personally meditate every single day, and I do the simplest type of meditation, in my opinion. I do something called 4-7-8 breathing. Maybe you wouldn't even call that meditation. What I do is that I breathe in for 4 seconds, I hold the breath for 7 seconds, and I slowly breathe the air out for 8 seconds. I do this like 5 or 6 times in the morning before I get out of bed. I also do the same practice before I go to sleep at night. It definitely helps. I think meditation helps. Plus, like we talked about earlier, exercise is an incredible way to reduce stress. You know, do whatever you can, but try to reduce the amount of stress within your life. Now, the fifth thing you can do is to take a vitamin D supplement. You know, research has shown that taking vitamin D can actually increase testosterone. Plus, most people are low on vitamin D, so I definitely recommend taking some vitamin D. Now, the sixth and final thing I'd like you to do is to review the medications you're taking. You know, talk to your doctor. Sometimes medications can actually lower testosterone levels. Maintaining optimal testosterone levels is so important as you age, so follow my recommendations in this video. Now, if you want to learn more about how to increase your energy, how to put on muscle, how to just look and feel your best as you age, check out this playlist of videos.